Hi, my name is Mark, and I have ataxia. The name of my ataxia is ARCA1, or autosomal recessive cerebellar ataxia type 1. Today I want to discuss the two major groupings of ataxia so that you can understand a little bit more of how things work. Essentially, there are two forms of ataxia, two ways in which we group people. Um, the first is acquired ataxia. Now, this group of people have received an ataxia diagnosis via some sort of brain injury, whether it be a stroke, a brain tumor. I've heard excessive alcohol consumption can be a factor. Um, there may be a variety of factors. I don't believe they're fully understood at this point. But the bottom line is that they have acquired ataxia or gotten ataxia through some external means. They weren't necessarily born with it. I'm sure somebody could be born with it if they had some form of brain injury at birth, but for a lot of people, they acquire it later in life. I mean, by later in life, I mean they could acquire it in their teens or in their young adulthood, or even if they're older. The second group is genetic ataxia. That's the group I fall under. And this group of people were born with ataxia. More accurately, they had ataxia from the moment of conception. Now, this, you'll hear a lot of people say that even people with genetic ataxias, they may say, I got ataxia when I was this old or when I was that old. What they simply mean to say is that's when they were diagnosed or when they found out about their ataxia. But everyone who has a genetic form of ataxia was born with it, but because ataxia is usually so slow, some of us don't find out till our mid-30s or later. Genetic ataxias further break down into two categories. We've got those with dominant ataxias. Those include spinocerebellar ataxia, and I'm not sure if there are other ones. But the other group is autosomal recessive. Now, with dominant ataxias, that's referring to the gene type, I think. And basically, it means that they acquired ataxia through one of their parents, whether either their father or their mother, or maybe even both in rare cases. With an autosomal recessive ataxia, like I have, or some of my friends with Friedreich's ataxia, it is autosomal recessive. That means they got the gene from their parents, both their parents. However, both of their parents are simply carriers, and in most cases will not exhibit any symptoms of ataxia themselves. They're merely carriers of the gene. One thing I should add is that in the case of a dominant ataxia like spinocerebellar ataxia, there is a 50% chance that any future offspring will acquire, or I shouldn't use the word acquire. There is a 50% chance that their offspring will get ataxia. Whereas with an autosomal recessive ataxia, like in ARCA1 or in Friedrich's or something like that, the chance is 25%. Of course, in both cases, the chances go up if the partner also has some form of ataxia. But I hope I've done a good job of explaining things a bit better to you, and you will understand the differences between the different types of ataxia. Bye for now.